Hello, everyone, and thanks for joining us on this episode of the Pave It Forward podcast. My name is Phil Metzger, and with me is Kevin Gray, and we are here to help leaders in the paving industry who are looking to run more efficiently, meet their ideal customer, and improve the lives of those around them through meaningful work. Kevin, how are we doing today?
Doing good, my man. Doing good. Getting in here on a Saturday, which is pretty cool, man. Nice and quiet here, slow paced. Nothing distracting me, which is a blessing.
Yeah.
Not much distracting me, I will say, but yeah, man. And I just, if I may, would like to give a quick shout out to Luis Oliveros and his Dirty Boy apparel company.
That's right.
Kind of sponsoring our apparel this year for the ADC team. He's also a leadership member of our seal coating, striping division, pavement maintenance division. So he also did the nasty good stuff a few years back, and he's playing with a new brand now, Dirty Boy, and the ADC. Oops, over here, collaboration. So
yeah, absolutely. Yeah,
check him out.
That's right. Yeah, I really love that brand. And he didn't ask me to do any of this, but it's really kind of a blue collar type outdoorsy brand. And I'm actually helping him put together some resources for the website and everything. And I'm excited for Lou. So yeah, check it out.
All started. You see the hand there, like it just started like they were, I think him and his crew are out one day and they're like, man, let's get a picture of our working hands. Like they're all just dirty hands. And somebody just said, oh, we're some dirty boys. And like, boom.
Actually, I do remember Lou telling me this story. What it was is someone on the crew had wings in aluminum foil and he needed to heat it up. So he threw it in the mix in the aluminum foil and for a couple minutes.
Heated it up. Yep.
Then he pulled it out and ate it, and he's like, that's a true Dirty Boy hand. And that's great. So more coming from Lou and Dirty Boy, but keep an eye out for it and go visit him on Instagram, I assume. But speaking of your crew, man, how's Scooby doing?
Scooby is he's on the mend, man. He comes in about every morning. I think he's really itching to get back to work. He's starting to look a lot better, man. He's looking like himself. He actually went out and tested the waters a little last week, went proof rolled 2 or 3 open residential projects we got that are, just a little soft steer here with the moist ground conditions. But yeah, man, he got out there. He's close, man. He's another week or so. I think he'll be back into action. So he's recovering nicely, man.
Yeah. Well, tell him we're thinking about him. And even some people, there were a few people that reached out saying thoughts and prayers and stuff for him. It was really cool. I'm glad to hear he's doing better. He's a truck driver for ADC Paving.
Yeah, he's our trucking manager. Yep.
Trucking manager. Yeah. He's the one with the always clean truck. So keep an eye out for that too.
The Chrome Dome.
The Chrome Dome. I mean, man, if there were 2 Scoobies, he would have a detailing company just ready to go. Holy cow. Dude.
Yeah, we're trying to keep up with those American Pavement boys, man, with that fleet. I said 2 years ago, I was like, all right, you see those red American Pavement, red and chrome trucks? And old Billy Stanley saying it ain't cool if the chrome don't shine. I said, that is what we need to look like, ladies and gentlemen. So
I see you walking around doing the toothpick test, seeing if you can see your teeth and pick something out of it. No,
yeah.
There you go. All right, well, I hope everyone listening is having a great day like we are. And today we look to bring you, the Asphalt business owner, the value that you are looking for. Just one more quick note before we get into our episode on being boss from the field. And that is that we have 2 participants that are ready to go and that we're excited about for the Solid Foundation course. And we're going to take one more. And this all wraps up on Wednesday. But, we talked to some people that just weren't the right fit. That's okay. Some people felt like they wanted another year or 2 of growth before making the investment. And that's fine, but it really has been great to talk to everyone. So I just wanted to encourage everyone to, if nothing else, fill out the application and pick our brain, because we love talking asphalt paving and we like hearing about these different businesses. They come in all different shapes and sizes, man, and it's really exciting.
Yeah, we've got one more spot. And like you said, we've had a few that we've had to, turn away that, maybe weren't quite there. I didn't think they were quite a good fit yet.
Sure.
But we want to make sure that this, can be, something that these companies can, where they can be successful, that they can,
Sure.
take at least what we have to offer, and be able to implement it right away, and be able to be, tactical with it. So
Sure.
looking for one more that's a really good fit, because last thing we want to do is get someone in here that, it's not a, it's not a good fit, right? We do the same thing in our businesses. Like, if we don't have the right personnel or equipment to do a job, we say, well, that's not a good job for us. So kind of similar situation here. So we want to make sure we are, meshing us with them, and we're setting each other up for success. So that's key.
Yep. And they've
we're not out here selling snake oil. It's in, we could take all of these applicants,
Sure.
registration fees and everything, and say everybody's a good fit, and yeah, come on, let's fill up these classes. Let's fill, and it's
Sure.
That's not the goal at all. The goal is to truly be able to help people and give people the kind of focused attention that they deserve and are going to require to be successful here. So
absolutely. Yeah. And they've, to be honest, the people that, weren't ready to make the investment, I think they kind of knew that maybe this wasn't going to be a good fit, but to just talk to them and learn about their company, because, we're going to be in person 3 days, and most of it is going to be kind of a digital course as far as the rest of it goes. So, some of these people just need a few more years just actually getting out there, and they know what they need to do. But we are really looking forward to one more spot. So go ahead and head over to paveitforwardinc.com and click on the operations solid foundation class.
Yeah, and keep in mind too, just because they're not in the solid foundation course, they still have, access to us. They still have obviously access to the podcast. Like it's not like, oh, you're not a good fit, we're kicking you out of the cool kids table or the club. Like, we're still going to interact. I've talked to a few of them since, we said, hey, this, just we're still asking questions, and we're still providing feedback. And so it's like,
absolutely. Yeah, we're going
to keep coming.
All right, Kevin. So how about we get to efficiency from the paver? And I kind of titled this one "Being Boss in the Field," just because I think it's been interesting and perhaps the most relatable point to people that have seen the ADC content over the last 3 years, and that is trying to manage a business while you're on the back of the paver. It is a complete juggling act, but obviously there has to be improvement there. If you're going to continue to operate from the field and lead the company, there has to be improvement from that position. So I have, as my first question here, what apps and programs are used most in the field? Because obviously you're working a lot from your phone if you don't have to be looking at exactly what you're doing on an intricate piece of asphalt, So I just wanted to kind of get the base there. And, when you open your phone, like, what are you kind of clicking on most, and what do you use most as far as the business is concerned?
As far as the day-to-day operations, and not just operations, but the entire basically picture, if you will, of the company, all the way from initially, just customer data, when we got this job progress app, man, when we've been looking for an app, this isn't the plug for job progress, but if you haven't checked it out, because we have tried a bunch. We've tried a bunch of different apps and programs and softwares over the last 3 to 5 years just to help us get, we went from just get more organized. We went from a, triplicate white, yellow, pink kind of contract and paper filing system, back in the day. Like, so every year we're trying to get a little more technologically, advanced, and, and the key to, the reason you're trying to do that is you're trying to get more efficient, you're trying to get more productive, you're trying to get all of your information and data and the things you need on a daily basis at your fingertips and fast, because especially when you're growing, like you got to have this stuff fast. The faster that everything is working, the quicker you're able to grow, the faster you're able to move on to the next thing, disseminate information to your team, whatever it may be. But job progress, man, it's I can send it, it links into our QuickBooks too, or right into our accounting software. So I'm able to look at, how many leads do we have as a company? How many proposals do we have out there? How many contracts do we have signed? How many follow-ups have we done with leads that with proposals we put out that have not come back as a contract? I then see, if we got contracts signed, I'd say it takes it down the whole, basically the whole scene of the business there. And, then it shows when it's going into the production schedule, when it's going to be, or when it has been prepped already, moved over to the seal coating or paving side. And then when that job's scheduled, when that job was completed, invoiced, and then paid. So like literally can watch the entire company, at least, the sales, revenue tracking, how our marketing stuff is, is creating all these reports and showing where our marketing dollars need to be spent, where our leads are coming from. I mean, it really is an expansive program where I can basically watch everything at really quick glance, and it's got a very nice dashboard feature to it. But I can also dive a little deeper into some reporting within that as well. So it's been a game changer, because a lot of times prior it would I could look at it, have a little bit of information. By the way, it's also got every job in it. It's got the site maps, it's got tonnages, it's got photos. Like I used to have to drive all around town to go look at our jobs for tomorrow or next week and say, what kind of staff or equipment do we need? And
this next week, I don't know if I'll do a video or maybe just even take some screenshots, but we'll put it up on the Pave It Forward Instagram page and YouTube if we do a video that just kind of shows what you're talking about here, because it is in the setup that it's a pretty good program. And I know I saw some other programs at NPE too that Josh and Mike, your salesmen, were interested in too, but this does seem like a pretty good all-encompassing program.
Yeah, it's really good. It's really saved me a lot of time.
Gotcha. As far as communicating with your team, whether it be the office or the truck drivers or your salespeople, while from your phone, do you use one specific thing? Do you require your team to use one specific app or method, or do you just kind of take all the above?
As far as communicating?
Yes.
Most of it's just, text. In the world we live in, text message. We've got most of the time, and now, and my good buddy Keith Callaway Jr has taught us this, and we're trying to get better at it. Like it's really promoting communication and trust and accountability, and asking us to be big boys and girls and have some tough conversations sometimes. But we're kind of trying to implement this, that texting is for information only. So phone call is when we need to have a conversation, right?
Yes.
So we'll text when it's job specifics, or what time to be in tomorrow, or where the job is, or what we need for the job. So we've got an entire company text thread. We've got a trucking thread, sales and marketing thread. We've got seal coating thread, prep thread, paving thread, prep and paving thread. So we've got different folks. We've found out 8 or 10 different groups of people that need similar or the same information. So a lot of it is just shared through that. When we need an answer immediately, or we need to ask someone a question, or say good job, or say what the heck happened, ask what, we'll pick up the phone and call, because it's a lot easier, and things usually get handled way faster. Probably should have picked up the phone and called you this morning, Phil, instead of brushing my teeth, sending out messages. But anyway, but yeah, so like we'll call when we do things like that. So
yeah, we've both been guilty of that. We've definitely had our our screaming matches because we just didn't call.
Yeah, like capital letters, like what I'm trying to say. It's like, well, if you just pick up the phone and you can hear my inflections and my tone of voice, and I'm not being sarcastic, even though my question mark on my text may have looked or sounded sarcastic.
Sure.
And it's not like, I tell you too, like if you send out informational text to your folks and like it starts to get into questions and back and forth, like you have no idea how long some of those text message conversations can take. Like, and it can be pulling at you for 20-30 minutes, and it's really just a series of 4 or 5 questions that could probably be handled in a 90-second phone call. So like,
sure.
And you get to talk to your coworker or employee, like pick up the phone for a second.
Yep.
They still work. We still have active phone lines in America. Like you can still call people.
So what about the chain of command if someone calls in sick or if there's something going on site? I know it's a huge, especially someone who, you know, you're the leader of the company. You are putting your values and you're putting your culture on the line, and, you know, balancing everything can be a huge task. So how do you try to contain the single messages off to the side? Like, is there a chain of command that you follow? Is there a policy, like anything like that?
Yeah, I mean, you know, crew members are, you know, they're supposed to communicate directly to their team leader.
Mm-hmm.
And then the team leader, they can talk to another team leader and start talking about how they're going to share or split manpower maybe for the day, or if we're, you know, if it happens to be a truck driver that's contacted the trucking manager, Scooby, he can, you know, refer to job progress, which, you know, all our foremen also have access to, so they can see everything, not as much as the financial information, but they can see the workload, what's today, what's tomorrow, what's next week, what's scheduled. Start thinking about, you know, do we have any trucking gaps? Do we have any positional gaps? And so they can start communicating or saying, oh, we need to get a rental truck in for the day. So yeah, that message will go to the foreman. Sometimes, like if it gets to me, like it's probably something pretty serious, or they've run into, you know, it's 2 or 3 guys that have called in like, what do you want us to do now? Like,
Yeah.
So they try to handle that on a crew lead, you know, level, but and that usually gets it done.
I assume that all the guys driving the trucks have the map as well of where all the other trucks are.
Yes, yeah. So we've got,
okay.
yeah. That's,
So
I
you're
mean,
not
that's
having
another.
to communicate with them from the paver that, you know, all this stuff. They can kind of get the flow of it.
Yeah, that's another, and the good one is we use Verizon Reveal, which used to be Fleetmatic. So we got the GPS trackers on the truck, so we know exactly, you know, where they're at, you know, if they're at the plant, if they left the plant, how far, you know, and we can also see what their turn times are for the day. You know, we were at a job and they go to the plant 23 minutes, so it's 23 minutes back. So we kind of start getting the rhythm of our trucking. If we need to share trucks between crews, we can say, oh, we're paving right here and I need a load of rock right here. Like, and you're close. Can you bring it? So that app's huge too. So
nice.
Cannot emphasize how important logistics and your trucking piece to this pavement maintenance operations are. Like, that's big money.
Yeah, absolutely. Keeping those cogwheels lined up, flowing.
Yes.
So do you have any rules, especially with these youngins out there, you know, and their cell phones? Obviously a huge part of your business is through that. And do you have any rules as far as for your team about cell phone usage while on the job?
I'm glad you brought this up, and hopefully they're listening to this podcast. Part of the reason we do this.
Sorry, guys.
Yeah, sorry. You can blame Phil when I ask you why your cell phone is not in the pickup truck where it's supposed to be. Supposed to be, you know, the team leads are supposed to be the only ones, you know, with their phones on them or active with them during the course of a day. Now, if we're in the truck riding, you know, from job to job, sure, you can check in with baby mama, or, you know, ask how your kids are doing, or, you know, just see how their day, you know, whatever you want to do. Like, that's cool. Like, but yeah, it's typically, you know, phones, if we're working, if we're paving, I mean, we're a safety, number one, always is safety. Cell phones will get you killed in the construction industry, especially when we have 80,000 pound trucks backing into a 30,000 piece of metal piece of machine. Like, see,
it's a dance
covered in half when you're on Facebook.
Yeah.
So yeah, we ask that they stay in the trucks. You know, any emergencies, and we let people's families know this too. It's like, if there's an emergency and you don't immediately hear back from, you know, hubby or whatever, like, call the office, and we will get that message to the foreman, who will say, hey, you need to make a phone call. So
and what about if you all, you know, there's just going to be times when you're waiting for rock. So what about, I guess they can wander over to the truck and check everything if there's downtime?
I mean, they can, if they've, you know, swept the sidewalk, mowed the custom grass.
Always work to be done, but also,
yeah,
I know
like
could be a 90-degree day.
You go knock on the neighbor's door and ask if they want to have their driveway paved.
There you go.
The street, did you, you know, Did you do
Sure,
a
sure.
good deed in the community or in the subdivision that someone might have seen that, you know, you had your ADC? We had a guy last year that like helped the lady just take her trash cans in because he was
Yeah.
on a truck. And,
Your guys are good about that. Your guys are great on site.
Yeah. You can always grab a broom.
Yeah.
Always grab a broom. Like
that may be one of the biggest things that have changed since I started working with you. Is I remember guys just like laying down under a tree, like, and of course it happens on hot days, whatever, there are going to be downtimes, but I mean, I'm talking about just almost out of resentment. And so yeah, and your guys talking to customers is fantastic. I think that's probably one of the better parts of the experience, or maybe more surprising parts of this experience for the customers, is talking to the guys. So
yeah, and we're not saying like you can't, if you're like, we're on a legit waiting on a truck and we got a legit amount of downtime. I'm not saying you can't go grab your phone or even sit in the truck and sit in the air for a minute. Like, it's not like that. It's not like you gotta be busy. We're paying you on the hour. You better be doing something. You know, like it's not that. Like, there's a time and place.
So what's your drink rotation like? Speaking of the hot days.
So we provide drinks every day for all of our crews. It's normally waters, vitamin waters, and then, you know, like Gatorade, Powerade, something like that. And then we've added a couple of vending machines. We've got snacks and you know, some higher end drinks, you know, Bangs and Red Bulls, stuff like that. Large part of that is because we want to show our team that we care about them. You know, we want to, because that's a big expense during the day. Like, if they want to get Powerades and, you know, stuff other than water, like everybody provides water, but like, let's, you know, it also eliminates that gas station stop, which is a biggie. We figured out that it is a lot cheaper to buy almost an infinite amount of drinks and or snacks or whatever for these guys. I've even considered starting to buy their cigarettes or putting them in the vending machine for $3 instead of $6. Just so nobody's stopping at the store, because the amount of money that we save doing that is crazy.
Yeah.
Well, seven guys stopping at a store for 20 minutes, 1 to 3 times a day.
Oh, sure. And it's tempting, man. That gas station's got AC. There's some people walking around.
They got Slurpee machines. Like, it's a good time, man. Like, it's a good,
on a hot day, it's a great place to be.
Yeah. But it costs you at the end of the day, you know, $1,500. And oh, by the way, it costs you a job a week or two. Like, we stopped, you know, 20 minutes 3 times a day. That's 5 hours, 6 hours a week. We paved 2-3 driveways in 5 to 6 hours a week. So
absolutely.
It also prevented us from generating $15,000 worth of revenue because y'all had to go to the gas station.
Yep.
I mean, think about that. That's
a hidden cost right there.
Yeah, that's a new seal coat tank. That's a month's worth of truck payments. Like,
yep.
Because you didn't bring your drink.
Is there anything that speaking of your truck, like, is there, I guess, something that you always keep on you, or always never leave home without as far as business? Do you keep anything in your truck that's really useful?
Yeah, my totes, my plastic totes full of snacks.
Yes.
Is the most used, like, because again, like, we don't, you know, I try to pack a lunch or whatever. I've always got drinks. Like, man, just being able to grab, you know, you see it. I go to Costco and I think every nutrition bar or snack box of stuff they've got, like, I get them and I load my truck with these big bins of food, you know. So
heck yeah,
because if I don't think to eat while I'm out there. Like, it's the last thing on my mind is like, oh, I'm hungry.
Yeah, you've talked about that being something that to try to improve on in the past, but I don't exactly know how you do it instead of just eating one giant 2,000 calorie meal a day.
It's telling, and we try to, you know, a lot of days we try to get, especially if Lewis is out on a job site, he's like our lunch liaison. Like, he, we try at least a few days a week, if not every, you know, whenever we can, to especially on our big job, we bring the guys, we'll go get the guys lunch. But the deal is, we know, you know, a couple of years ago, we noticed every time lunch got brought, guess what happened? Paver.
Stop. Oh yeah.
5 minutes, 10 minutes, 20 minutes.
Good time in the shade.
Minutes. Like, where'd everybody go? Yeah. And then everybody somebody runs, takes a truck to the gas station. Like, so we've got this thing now. That's another one. K&L helped us out with, like, one man gets to eat at a time. Like, all right, Billy, all right, now Billy's raking, so somebody's got to rake while Billy's gone, but or you got to do your job and Billy's job, but he's going to go eat. He's going to take 10, 12 minutes, whatever. So it's one man at a time, go eat, and then next man. Like, unless we just absolutely, like, don't have a load of mix or something that we should be doing, like where we can all take 20 minutes. Like, I've seen it 1,000 times. Like, you have no idea how big of a momentum killer that stopping for lunch is in this industry.
Oh man,
because you get all more like the morning time, like, oh, we're unloading trucks. Like, we're paving 132 tons an hour. We're going to get out of here at 2:00. And then lunch happens. And then production for the rest of the day is 50, 60, maybe 70 tons an hour. And it's like, oh, so it's, you've seen it.
I mean, I live it if you have lunch, like, like you get tired for a while if you don't keep moving, like, and it's you're not even like, you just can't stop. Like, it's universal. Yeah. Especially
if that happens and it stops, it's over. It's over.
Yep. So
you're losing profit.
Is there anything that you do in anticipation of like a particularly like long or hard day ahead? Like, you're going to have 3 straight days of 97, and it gets, for those of you all around the Kentucky, you may not understand, unless you're from the South, what the humidity is like. But in Kentucky, it looks like we're in the middle of the country, but we get 90-degree days with 80% humidity a lot during the summer. And that, I've lived in Arizona, it is worse than 110-degree day. I mean, it's miserable. So in anticipation of all that, as far as either self-motion or self-motivation or equipment or actions to prepare the crew in the morning, like, do you have any advice or anything that you do in the mornings to, get everyone else in that frame of mind, or yourself?
Well, I mean, sleep is huge. Like, if I've noticed, like, if I don't get enough sleep, I'm okay. I just don't I'm not a very good decision maker. Like, if I'm not sharp and rested, hydration is huge. Like, I keep a bunch of amino acids and stuff like that in my truck. But like, the biggest thing we can do for long, hard, hot weeks as a company, I think, is preparation. Is our it's our morning meeting. I think being prepared is the biggest thing you can do. Walking into a hard day, a hard week, a hard job, planning, communication.
Sure.
It's incredible. Like, we've our folks that were here to start the year off are no longer with us, and I think that worked out best for both parties, and it's fine. You bring in new employees, man. It's almost a 90-day sit down at the roulette table. It's kind of how I've seen things. Am I willing? I've done my due diligence to the best of my ability. I think this is a good hire. I think this is going to work out. These are good, and you say, I'm willing to take 90 days. I'm willing to invest this much money. And you go. So that's just my word of advice. I mean, you just buckle up, think about how much money you're willing to sit down at that roulette table with and potentially lose over a 90-day period. And that's what that is. But I've noticed for some reason, even though it was asked almost daily, for some reason, we were not getting that morning meeting, and people would wonder why we'd get to the job and nobody knew what the hell was going on.
Sure.
People are like, well, we've tried everything. We've tried everything to get this thing clicking or working better. And it's like, did you take 6 minutes to have the morning meeting?
Yeah.
No, we were in a hurry. We need to get out to the job. We got a big job. We needed to get out there. Did you have the morning meeting? Well, no. We had to leave at 6 o'clock. Like, I'd rather you leave at 7 o'clock. Look, if you need to be there at 6 and you don't have a morning meeting, I'd rather you be there at 7 and have the morning meeting. You're going to get done earlier in the day. And the morale is going to be better. Communication is going to be better. The teamwork is going to be better. The job is going to look better. The customer is going to be happier, and you're going to get that check with a smile on your face instead of what's that?
Sure.
Man, y'all had to rush over there. Why does that look like crap?
Yeah.
Just that's it, man. Preparation.
Yeah, morale, man.
Morale, yeah.
It's gotta be, for every time on an extremely hot day that you have a setback that could have been avoided, especially if everyone knows it, man, that's gotta be a little deflating, especially if
Yep.
that just means more time out there, more time away from your family. So
Yeah,
yeah.
100%. Yes. And that stuff's totally avoidable.
Yeah,
Totally avoidable.
absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, we're out till 7, 8, 9, 8, 9, 10 o'clock till dark. And like, God, because we don't ever try to schedule work, Pat. I mean, we shoot for a 10 to 12, maybe 12-hour work day. Like when you get into those, no, you're gonna have bad days. Stuff's gonna happen. There's gonna be variables. You're gonna you're gonna run into something on some days. But like if you consistently are out till 8, 9, 10 o'clock, like something's wrong.
Sure.
Something's not running correctly. Because we have enough history scheduling different scopes of work to know how long stuff should take. So
Sure. Yeah. And as you said, with all these improvements that you've been making on the technology side, on the communication side, with the trucking app, et cetera, like you're running out of reasons besides preparation, to blame anything on. You get to that point where you want to be operational and work, in a smooth flow and have good days and all that stuff. And some of it isn't avoidable. But yeah, not a whole lot of places where people can run and hide anymore. So,
fact.
It's getting to that season. So, time to prepare.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is, dude.
So now let's appreciate all the answers there, Kev. Do you have a thought that won't stop this week? Anything that's been on your brain that you'd like to share?
Yeah, well, I mean, we kind of just talked to us, and that's why I love our team. I love our culture. I love our people. Like it's basically 90% of our entire field leadership team walked out the door last Wednesday. And we have put down the best looking, most profitable, efficient, I mean, you name it, the most of everything you try to shoot for when you're doing a paving project. We have done those better in the last 10 days than we had all season. I mean,
congratulations, man.
Yeah, man. Like I thought I was next man up. Like next, who's up? We know what to do. Who cares? Who cares if they left? Like we do the same thing every day. Who wants to step up? And we've all stepped up.
Yeah.
Do I have to go back in the field a little bit? Maybe on some of our more difficult and larger projects, sure. But part of me doesn't hate that. Like if you've watched our stories, like for the last however many years we've been on the gram or whatever, like does it ever look like I'm really having that bad of a time out there? So I think part of me may be in the field forever, just even if I don't want to. Like so it's good if I got to go out there a few days. I'm excited to, this next man up mentality, like that gives me an opportunity to do what I really think I'm good at and really enjoy, and that's coaching people and helping and mentoring and teaching. So the caveat with that is you've got to have people out there in the field that are willing to be coached, that have an open mind, that are open and approachable, and are willing to communicate and maybe have some hard conversations and putting their pride and ego aside. And trust me, dude, I've only been doing this 12, 13 years. Like I'm learning something every day too. But let's learn this together. Like you put your pride and ego aside and say, hey, let's get beside your buddy there and say, what's the best way to do this? What would you do? Or whatever. And talk about it. So we've got guys out there that they understand what the name on the front of the shirt represents. They do. I can't think of one person here currently that thinks more about the name on the back of the shirt than they do the name on the front of the shirt. So
that's the truth.
So as much walked out the door last week, I was like, I was like, all right, let's go to work. Like,
sure.
Like
sense of relief almost.
It honestly was like, it's and look, like those dudes are great. They're talented. They're super skilled. And they will be fine wherever they land. Like They just weren't the right fit here. It doesn't mean they're bad humans. It doesn't mean they're bad people. Actually great. They're actually great folks. They're just different style, different, I tell people all the time, like, we try to talk people out of coming to work here. This is not for everybody.
Sure.
This is going to be different than any other construction company you've ever worked for. Like, it is like.
Yep. Appreciate that, Kev. And moving on to my thought that won't stop. It's pretty simple. A lot of finances, learning a lot of new things about finances in Colorado, and baseball. I freaking love baseball, man. And it was, I have it on all day in the background when I work at a low volume. 2020 was obviously bad for many more reasons than baseball, but it was just like an empty void of a year. And I was nervous about this contract negotiation and stuff, but I'm just excited that spring's here and baseball's here. So pretty easy one for me, but it's my jam.
They almost weren't going to play. Like, it was getting.
Yeah. There were some ugly words all the way up until the last week. And but yeah, and also I just got notified that I'm a Cubs fan, and they traded away Chris Bryant last year, and now he's going to be playing for the Rockies, where I am now. So I can still go see my boy. He's wearing the wrong colors, but I'm pretty excited about that.
That's pretty cool. Yeah. Yeah, that was meant to be, man.
I've yet to been to a sporting event out here in Colorado, but I'm excited about it.
Yeah, they got some killer. That'll be cool, man.
Oh yeah, and they just got Russell Wilson too. Broncos did, so they made the big trade there. So, which is a bummer because Teddy Bridgewater played for U of L and he was the starting quarterback. And I miss my chance at the U of L Bowl. Teddy Bridgewater and Lamar Jackson, they played like the week I moved to Colorado, and I just couldn't get my stuff together to go do it. But
I heard I saw something this morning on Facebook. So the Seahawks, they had a picture of Uncle Rico there from Napoleon Dynamite. Like, you can throw that thing a mile.
How much you want to bet I could throw a football over that mountain?
Yeah, right. We'd have taken state.
Poor Seahawks.
Days.
I'm not.
Glory days, baby.
I don't keep up with sports that much, but from what I understand, I don't really know what they were doing getting rid of him. But someone in Seattle let us know.
Some business guy thought it was a good move, or some data analyst, that Moneyball kind of guy or whatever.
Seems
somebody getting paid a lot of money to make those decisions. I'll tell you that.
Yeah, fair enough. Well, maybe we'll revisit it down the road. Doesn't
mean they're good at it. Just
means they do it.
It means they probably knew somebody's dad or something.
That's tough. That city cares a lot about that football team. But anyways, and wrapping up this week's episode, I just want to remind you that the deadline for the Solid Foundation course is Wednesday, the 23rd. We have a few time slots available next week, so please get those easy 3 questions that we just want to know about your company, and 1 very short video about yourself to us. Once again, that's at paveitforwardinc.com, and you'll see the Solid Foundation button there. And this is an operations course that looks at your processes and operations to help you optimize your daily and yearly output, as well as look at your local market for opportunities. It should help you prioritize your year with strategies that should last a very long time. And it comes with a side of content that you can show your ideal client. And once again,
don't sell it short, Phil. It's operations, culture, and marketing.
It's operations, culture, and marketing. That's true. We definitely want to give you those tips as far as culture, how to be able to ask Kevin those questions. You're able to ask me anything about marketing. We'll definitely supply you with those videos. But it's no doubt, it's no lie, Kev, that a good majority of our audience comes to pick up tips on what you do, how you handle things, and just how you go about that daily business. So that's what we're really looking to dive into, is those costs, those big questions that can really make a long impact.
Yeah, well, we had 2. I'm sure anybody they probably saw it last week. We had two companies down last week. We had the boys from JB Lines and then AAA parking lot maintenance. Guys come down from Canada last week to check out our operations, and we actually invited them to come down and help us, dive into our striping. This first year we've had a striping division, so they helped us, did some training with that, brought down their standard operating procedures, and they wanted to come see our paving and pavement maintenance operation that they're getting ready to explore. And then the guys from from AAA who are looking to grow their paving side of the, getting a little more into the commercial space. And both came down for 3 days. I mean, that's we're like the traveling road show of, it's pretty cool, man. And we're glad to do that. Like that's, we've hosted a lot of people. That's another piece of why we've decided to do this, and not just do that, really be able to spend some time and dive in deep. So
yeah, absolutely. Yeah, we as you were talking about earlier with being back in the field like that, we decided to originally it was 3 to 5. We decided that we're going to cap it at 3. We have 2 participants that are really excited, and we have 1 spot left. So please get your application in. We really, really would like to talk to you guys or girls and see if we can't find something that'll impact your company for a lifetime.
Well, and I'll tell you what, like if it's just 2, if we don't find another one that makes sense, like, we'll be able to really, give a little more attention to those 2. Like, so it's
sure.
We're not going to force a bad fit in here just to say we got 3. Like,
no,
I don't care if it's 1, honestly. Like, I really don't.
Right.
We're going, if we can change one person's business or life with what we do, then we're here to help people change their lives. So
that is our entire goal. We hope it's more than 1. We hope there's thousands of 1s. Right. Like it really it's gratifying. It's gratifying being in year 3 and getting to see all this. So
yeah, the feedback we're getting from just the podcast and the things we're already doing, like, it's good to know we're already impacting people in a very big way. Like,
it's very heartfelt, and
it is.
You know what I mean? When you're putting on a, we really started digging into this about 6 months ago because we were just, this is what we were doing. We were supplying people with answers. So to put the effort forth to do all this and then already have this kind of response, it's really gratifying, man. And it makes me want to come back and do it more and more. And that's why, we talked about the future of this Pave It Forward, and the medium long term. And no matter what angle we take from it, we come back to the mission statement we start with every podcast, help leaders in the paving industry run more efficiently, meet their ideal customer, and improve the lives of those around them through meaningful work. It's just like, no matter how you frame it, like, that's why I get out of bed every day. Like, when you get to beat people and you get to have synergy with that person, and that person is able to run a company that impacts the lives of those working for him and to where they all enjoy coming every day. It just, I don't understand how you could ask for a better living. So that's why we want to help. That's why we want to help.
All right.
Let's do it. Kevin, any last thoughts for the people today?
Oh man, that's it. I got to roll.
I hear you. Well, thank you everyone for joining us today. This has been the Pave It Forward podcast, where we aim to help leaders in the paving industry who are looking to run more efficiently, meet their ideal customer, and improve the lives of those around them through meaningful work. Thanks for listening, everybody.